start to realize that, you know what, I'm really not that happy, or I'm not as fine as, I say I am, or, I realize that some of my medical issues have a lot to do with the amount of stress that I carry. And it just became kind of a theme. And I said, this is a major pattern, and we need to pay attention.
Was it generally married women that you found this in, or single moms, or just women across the board?
I would say women across the board. I mean, I definitely see it more in women that have to juggle multiple people and multiple things. So, being married, having kids, taking care of elderly parents, all of these issues definitely become heavier once you get involved in that. But I see it in single women, too. I mean,
I think that,
particularly, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Dr. Stern. I was going to say this to jump in. This is the Urbanista. That everyone's struggle or load is different, and one is not always more than the other. So someone may look at someone who's single and professional and say, oh, she has everything together, she's great, she's doing everything that she is supposed to do as far as society is concerned. But maybe for that individual person, they're upset, or they're dealing with a lot of stress because they don't have kids, or they're not married, or they're taking care of a parent.
Well,
or they're doing
and a lot
other
of
things.
times,
Exactly.
I think that we don't even realize that we're stressed out. Like you're just kind of going with the motions and doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you're doing it well, and you're getting through it. So you don't realize that there could be stress, mental stress and physical stress on yourself.
True.
So that's probably why they come into your office and they're like, I'm fine. But then you keep asking them that question and they're like, well, wait a minute. Maybe I'm not fine.
Because nobody asks.
So did you find this more?
Exactly.
Well, now people ask. Men always say, how you doing?
Men
that
say,
doesn't
how
mean
you
the same
doing?
thing.
It's not,
How
come
you
on,
doing?
How you doing? You all right, boo? You need a friend?
How's
Come
you
on,
doing?
honey. I'll be your friend.
Don't tell me to smile. I got this.
Oh, here we go.
I'm just saying it happens.
It's only one man in the room tonight,
Yeah,
so
so I
be
mean-
careful. Be
Yeah,
careful.
so watch your back. So
Rhinestone.
y'all had last week. We got this
Oh
week.
my God.
We got 3 ladies tonight.
So are men stressed out, or do you only see women patients?
No, men deal with it absolutely too. I'm a family doctor, so I see a little bit of everyone from the cradle to the grave. But I happen to, I think once you see a certain population, then they spread the word to their friends, and you happen to, you gain kind of similar patients after a while because they talk to their friends, and everybody kind of starts coming to you. And I think that's what happened. As I started to see young, either single ladies, professional women, or moms taking care of their young families, and then they spread the word to their friends. So I have a large amount of women like me that I take care of. But no, I absolutely see it in men. And, I guess at risk of sounding stereotypical or controversial, I think men they're fairly used to carrying that burden, and just kind of dealing with it. Women, it's a fairly new idea for us, at least 2 or 3 decades ago, to try to balance your career, be successful and professional, and still have to balance the family life with it. So I think there's just that extra level of stress. And then, particularly for black women, we carry the burden of having to carry the family and having to be, I don't know, for some reason I think we're conditioned to be perfect in all things to everyone. And that has a very negative.
Do you think
effect
that's
on our health.
a racial thing though? I mean, black versus white versus Latina. I mean, why do you say black women in specifically?
I don't know. I don't know if it's just because of just the way that we were raised, just to be so resilient and strong. I mean, yes, women of all races, absolutely. But in particular, I think, I don't know if we do it to ourselves. We hold ourselves to such high standards. If you come from a home where either you had a single-parent home or a two-parent home, but for some reason we seem to, I don't know, we seem to just carry that load of having to carry our culture on our back.
I think it's, I don't think that no other culture experiences it. Of course, you can't just generalize or make a blanket statement, but
No,
and
absolutely.
I understand what you're saying, and I think that culturally, even from slavery, we always had to just suck it up and make things work. And even in the worst times, when your man has now been beat, or you've been raped, or you got kids and your kids are sold to slavery, it's a generational thing. And not to say that other cultures don't experience that, because a lot of cultures are intermingled. But I do think in general, as a black woman, even from a very young age, it's like, yeah, you can cry, you can be upset, but you don't do that with anybody else knowing, and you you hold it together. You are the glue.
You be strong, you be independent.
You're the glue. So, that's something that's very interesting.
So are we saying, on the other hand, white women cry openly and it's cool and everybody can say, hey, that's just a
I think more often.
white woman crying?
Yeah, I don't.
Well, you know
I don't
what?
know if I agree with that.
I don't know if, and I definitely don't want to make this a race thing because the Superwoman complex is for everyone.
Right.